Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. The San Francisco 49ers on the last game here of Wild Card Weekend go into Lambeau Field in this frigid temperatures and beat the Green Bay Packers 23-20. The 49ers will now advance to play Carolina in the divisional round, but this is a very hard-fought game, a game that featured a lot of injuries, particularly on the Green Bay defensive side of the ball. But in the first half, although the game was dominated by the 49ers in terms of statistics and just the eyeball test if you were watching this game, they were able to get Frank Gore going early. They were able to really dictate how the game was being played as a whole. But when you looked up at the scoreboard, the 49ers, two drives that could have very well ended in touchdowns ended in field goals. And at the half, they were only up 13-10 on the Packers, who, again, played very tough. Sort of the theme of this game to me was, for the Packers, is how, as a defense, they didn't play perfect, but they played very physical, very tough, and I think as a whole did a very good job in the run game specifically against Frank Gore. Now, against Colin Kaepernick, a little different story, which I'll get to in a second, but, we picked the game up 13-10 at halftime. The score would remain 13-10 until the beginning of the fourth quarter. You had a Packers drive that went from the end of the third quarter to the beginning of the fourth quarter, 12 plays, 80 yards, really a vintage Aaron Rodgers-led drive that ended in a John Kuhn touchdown run to make it 17-13 Packers. Then you had the 49ers sort of strike quick, and they score on a Colin Kaepernick to Vernon Davis 28-yard touchdown strike to make it 20-17 49ers. That was with about 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. The rest of the game would only feature two possessions total, one by each team. The Packers took the ball and went on a pretty long drive down the field that spanned a little over 5 minutes. However, they couldn't get the ball in the end zone once they got it in the red zone. They had to settle for a Mason Crosby field goal to tie the game. So at this point, the score is 20-20 with a little over 5 minutes left. With the ball in Colin Kaepernick's hands and the 49ers offense hands, they get the ball at their own 20. Some key plays on this drive included a 3rd and 10 where Colin Kaepernick hit Michael Crabtree, for a 17-yard gain to keep the drive going. Without that third down conversion, there wouldn't have been the ability, for the drive to continue, obviously. You also had a 3rd down, a 3rd and 8, which Kaepernick scrambled for 11 yards, to take the ball from the Green Bay 38 to the Green Bay 27-yard line. And to me, that was the play of the game. You had 3rd and 8. You had things sort of trending Green Bay's way in terms of stopping the 49ers on that drive. Kaepernick drops back. They lose containment on the outside. He squirts away for 11 yards. From there, they get the ball in position for Phil Dawson and set up the game-winning field goal as time expired. And another theme of this game, yet another game between the 49ers and the Packers, is determined largely by the legs of Colin Kaepernick. He ran for 98 yards, threw for 225 more, and Kaepernick did have one big run of 40 yards plus. But to me in this game, it was about Kaepernick not on plan read option kind of plays, but more taking what the defense gives him after they shut down the pass and him picking up key first downs, keeping the chains moving with his legs. Those, to me, are the back-breaking runs. Those planned runs are one thing. I think defenses eventually figure those out. But those scramble runs that he did in this game to keep drives alive, most notably that last drive on that 3rd and 8, really was the difference for the 49ers on offense. You throw in Michael Crabtree, who had a sensational game, 8 catches for 128 yards. He had a great game. On the Packers side of things, look, I thought their front seven afforded themselves very well, especially against Frank Gore and that offensive line. Aaron Rodgers was shut down for a lot of the first 3 quarters of this game. But look, when he needed to put 2 drives together and put those 10 points on the board, he did it. And he did it in typical Aaron Rodgers fashion. I'm sure Rodgers would like that drive that ended in a field goal towards the end of the game. The drive that tied the game. I'm sure he would like some of those plays back and to punch that ball in the end zone to force the 49ers to then score a touchdown on the ensuing drive. But, it didn't happen. All right. Kaepernick goes into Lambeau, gets a big win, I think, for the 49ers and for him personally, doing it on the road in the frigid temperatures. And look, there now we'll go forward and go ahead to Carolina. The Packers are left to sort of, again, lick their wounds after a playoff defeat to the 49ers. But, I think it's important, again, I know I said this a couple times, but to remember the injuries the Packers played with that happened throughout the game, the fact that they were without Clay Matthews, and, the fact that they played a very good team. They fought absolutely as hard as they could. And if I'm them, I'm proud of the defensive effort. And, I think they just lost to a better team today and a more healthy team. But, guys, let me know what you think of this game, thought of this game. Hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter as well. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Always talking the NFL draft, covering the NFL playoffs wall to wall. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks for listening, and have a great night.